Rob, what is our fourth main topic today?
John, our fourth main topic comes to us from Jarvis. Did Black Adam make or lose money? I've been seeing people debate it since a bunch of reports said it lost almost $100 million, and Dwayne Johnson said it made almost $100 million. Puck is now saying that Johnson put out false financial information about Black Adam to make it look like the movie did better than it did. What do you think of this, and where does the truth lie?
All right, Jarvis, thanks a lot for sending this in. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Black Adam, a movie I enjoyed. I mean, had issues with it, have some problems with it. I had fun with this movie. I smiled a lot, laughed a lot, found it kind of exciting. And yes, had a lot of issues with it too. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is I had a good time watching this movie. But it's been in the news a lot and being talked about in circles a lot for all the wrong reasons. You know, about how much movie did it lose? And then all of a sudden, like, The Rock comes out and says, this movie's already made a $72 million profit. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I am not Oppenheimer. I'm not a physicist or one of the world's most advanced mathematicians, but I know 2 and 2 don't equal 7. But whatever. So it was kind of confusing when he put out all these numbers. Deadline even followed up on that and put out all these numbers like, oh, okay, but that, and Variety refuted it, whatever. So Puck with Matt Maloney, I mean, this has become it's becoming a really reputable source for a lot of people. Puck is becoming like a real inside newsletter that a lot of the Hollywood people are following now. They put out a lot of reliable stuff. But anyway, this comes to us from Puck, talking about this situation, about what's going on here. Executives at Warner Brothers reportedly claim that Dwayne Johnson leaked inaccurate information about the profits of Black Adam. According to Puck's Matt Maloney, several Warner executives believe that Team Dwayne Johnson leaked information to Deadline about the profitability of Black Adam as a way to counter previous reports that the DC film would lose the studio between $50 and $100 million. Maloney wrote that the supposedly leaked report was, quote unquote, filled with false assumptions, and stated that in the long term, nearly all movies this size will ultimately pencil out after every window is exhausted over years and years. So what Matt is saying from Puck here, they're saying that, look, long term, when Black Adam gets picked up by CBS for X amount of dollars, and then another network plays it, and then it goes to this streaming thing, and then it jumps to another streaming thing that plays as a special of the weekend. Look, 10, 15 years down the road, yeah, maybe at the end of the day, this thing will accumulate enough licensing fees and all that kind of stuff is there. But according to this report, a bunch of numbers based on quote unquote false assumptions, that's a polite way of saying lying. But based on false assumptions to counter the impression going around out there that Black Adam was a money loser. Look, not every movie is going to be a hit. It's just not. That's okay. That's the nature of the business. And there's no shame in putting together the best movie you can. If you're a production company, in putting the best movie together you can, maybe you made a good one, maybe you didn't make a great one, whatever. But you gave it your best effort. You got behind it. You made the best movie you could. You put it out. Sometimes you're going to hit wins. Sometimes you're going to hit losses. It's okay. There's no shame in that. But it does feel like, I remember when that article came out in Deadline, when Dwayne, who is my second favorite movie star in the world, I love Dwayne Johnson. But when Dwayne came out and made that social media post about why is a movie star coming out and trying to talk about the financials of the movie they're making, just stay out of it. Dwayne, you don't need to dirty yourself with this. Like, you are Dwayne Johnson. None of this is going to hurt you no matter what. But it really did feel like oh boy, here's internal turmoil. Here's a he said, she said thing going on. And it's just really, I don't know. It's not a good look for anybody. I'm not saying Dwayne Johnson. I'm not saying Black. I'm saying it's not a good look for anybody. Like, because it keeps all of us talking about the disappointing results of Black Adam.
Right.
And there's no need. Let's just look back on Black Adam and say, you know what? Had its problems. Didn't make as much money as everybody thought it was going to make, but it was a fun movie. We had a good time. Let's see if another one gets made. Instead of talking about that, everybody on both sides keeps bringing up the financials. Did it make 5 cents or did it lose 5 cents? Whatever. It was a disappointment. And now that's what we're talking about instead of talking about the positives of the film. I don't know. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. Guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. This holiday, give the perfect gift of an annual masterclass membership and get one free. Go to masterclass.com/Campea today. That's masterclass.com/Campea. Terms apply. Rob, you read this report coming out of the Puck and Deadline as well. What's your takeaway from it?
Well, I think, look, this is damaging to brand Dwayne Johnson in the sense that, you're only as good as your last project. And the fact is, he probably had a large stake in this movie.
Sure.
He got paid a lot. So there's under no metric system, wherever you're going to look at this movie was not profitable. I mean, as we talk about on the show, box office, you only get 50. The studios are lucky if they get 50% of that. Meaning, so if it made $400 million, the studios are only going to cover the cost of making the movie. They haven't covered their marketing costs. They haven't covered their studio overhead. This movie has lost a great deal of money, regardless of how you want to spin it. But, I get it, because Dwayne Johnson doesn't want people to saying that about him, because that means his quote for his next movie. It's like, we might have paid you $25 million. We're not going to pay you that this time. We're going to pay you $15 million. So for him and his team, it costs money when something isn't a big, resounding success. So I can understand where they're going. But like you said, it's a bad look for an actor to come out and start talking about studio business. Unless the actor himself is paying for the movie, he shouldn't be talking about this at all. And he opened himself up for this. This is something that this debate, like you pointed out, this didn't have to be going on. We should be talking about the movie. I like the movie. It's good. It's out on streaming now. Watch it. It's on HBO Max. Check it out. If you like it, maybe they'll make another one if the streaming numbers are good. But this movie has not made a lot of money, so Dwayne Johnson, I don't think, should be weighing into that.
Here's my fear. My fear is this. I would like to see a sequel.
Me too.
I mean, again, I had issues with the first movie, but at the end of the day, I would like to see a sequel. But my fear is like, it's like a professional athlete. Once there's so much baggage attached to a professional athlete, even if they're still pretty good, a lot of teams will pass on this because we don't want the circus that comes with it, right? My fear is, as somebody who wants to see a sequel to this movie, is that by prolonging this drama about did it lose money and all this kind of stuff and like creative accounting and all that kind of stuff, it feels like they're making the property itself undesirable.
Yes.
It's like, you know what? Because Warner Brothers could look at it. I'm not saying that they are. I've had nobody call me to tell me this. This is just me as a fan speculating, right? If you're Warner Brothers, look at all the fucking nightmare Warner Brothers went through with the whole Justice League thing, right? It was never about the movie anymore. And now it was all about cult of personality. It was never about the movie anymore. Now it became about us versus them and all this kind of nonsense in the circle. And then the previous regime put up $70 million to create the HBO version of it. And it ended up losing them a bunch of money and all this. My fear is by keeping this discussion going, that they're making the brand, the Black Adam brand, look undesirable. It's like, do we want to jump back into that pool again? Nah. And I don't want that to happen because I want to see them do another one of these. I want to see you. I don't know, Rob, do you think this, when people are talking about Black Adam now, we're not thinking about the fun of the movie. We're thinking about all this stuff about the money, they lose money. I don't know. Is it making it less desirable, or do you think it's kind of insulated from that?
No, I think it is. Let me ask you this. If you're David Zaslav, would you make another Black Adam movie right now?
Oh, God.
I mean, the thing is, I think the answer is no. You can't. You're looking at the numbers and going, wait a minute. we're going to relaunch the DCEU and we're going to look at those numbers. I mean, it's funny because everyone is very combative about the idea of James Gunn and Peter Safran restarting the DCEU. But the thing is, if they were to restart the DCEU and they started out and thought, okay, James Gunn's thinking, I'm going to make whatever movie I'm going to make for what I made Guardians of the Galaxy 1 for. If we're going to start out, I mean, the fact is you're going to go back. We're not going to spend $225 million or $300 million or $400 million on a movie. That's not going to be helpful to us. We have to make it profitable. So you make a $150 million movie and it makes $750 million. That's a win.
Yeah,
that's an epic win.
Now you're off running.
And then you're off and running. And that's the direction he wants to go. Because even that, if you make a $150 million movie that makes $750 million, you paid for the film. It's made 4 times its budget plus another $150 million. That's a good bet. That's why when you look at Henry Cavill's Superman movies, those numbers don't work. Whether you're looking at, and that's why the idea would be that, okay, we're going to start from scratch. We pay people less. We scale back on what we're doing in terms of effects wise or post-production, whatever you're spending your money on, and make these movies for a price. This movie, it simply didn't work financially.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? At the end of the day, as you look back at the Black Adam movie, did you enjoy it? I mean, I think we all acknowledge it had its issues. You had fun with it. Were you hoping to see a sequel? Will you not lose any sleep if we don't see another sequel? Whatever you guys think about it, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.